see Vin joined us, and hopefully Mike joins us, but we're supposed to start at 7. So first, let me just remind everyone this is the meeting of the Board of Appeals, May 7th. We're conducting this with Zoom, and the meeting will be recorded. With me are other members of the board, and please identify yourself.
Laverne Lovell, member.
Nadir Ahmed, member.
And George Chimento, member and chairman. Good. And our associate member, Nancy Green, said she wouldn't be able to attend tonight. She's out of town. And I think we'll see if we have anyone else join us, if Mike joins us. But at this point, let's open the meeting. And it's at 7 o'clock. We just set this up for citizen comments and general board discussion. But that is, and let's see, we do have, and I'd like anyone who is commenting, let's not discuss the Strawberry Hill property at this point, because we're going to go into that in a great deal of detail. Are there any discussions not involving Strawberry Hill that someone would like to speak about? Okay, I guess not. All right. Next, this was going to be a very interesting meeting because we had an application to have a commercial dog kennel on a lot at 5 Village Hill Road. That's a little over 1 acre. That is something that's allowed under our bylaws with a permit. I must say that I received a lot of emails with very concerned people about this issue. And the owner or the applicant, Alexander Kaplan, has withdrawn his application for the special permit. What we should do now is, and Alex did not request that we have the hearing open so that we could rule that the withdrawal was without prejudice. That is a procedure in our bylaws. If someone withdraws and would like to address a meeting and have the finding be without prejudice, they're allowed to do that under our bylaw. That did not happen, and so essentially, under the law, this application could not proceed for another 2 years if there is an application again. I see. Oh, so at this point, may I and Jeff Souter, we'll have you speak in a minute. I just want the board to just acknowledge that we're accepting the notice that the hearing is canceled, and so it will not be conducted. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nadir Ahmed, aye.
Okay, and
Laverne Lovell, aye.
And George Chimento, aye. Okay, and Jeff Souter, please, where do you live, Jeff? And proceed. You have the floor.
I was muted for a second. I apologize. My name is Jeff Sauter. I live
okay.
Jeffrey with a G. Okay,
Yeah.
Jeff Sauter. I live at 5 Juniper Lane, and I'm watching tonight as just a private citizen in Dover. But I should let you know that I am a member of the Dover Historical Commission, and I think that maybe going forward down the road, there might be times that we have a chance to work with you. Maybe.
Absolutely. No, you do God's work as far as
Well, I was our chairwoman is Ann Reitreiner. I said to her
absolutely.
recently, I said, all of these boards in Dover are the same. We're all like, unfunded mandates by the state, ours as well as yours, I think. So think we have to respond, what do you call it? Respect each other's contributions. But I'm just watching this tonight,
Oh,
with, with no comment.
that's pretty
He'll,
big.
he'll tell you.
We haven't told you about the huge salaries we get at the
Oh,
board.
I know. Well, I forgot, what is your budget that was approved at town meeting?
We have made a point. We don't have any administrative assistance, which
Yeah,
shocks our attorneys. We're the only Board of Appeals they know of that doesn't have someone on salary. So we do this all ourselves, and
yep.
our entire budget is under $2,000.
Uh,
That covers supplementary advertising, stationery, and it also covers the services. Uh, Although I'm not quite sure we get charged directly for her, but I want to introduce someone who makes our Zoom meeting possible. Uh, she's young. That means she understands technology. Suzanne Hiltz. She's our communications assistant in town hall. She's a management analyst. And when, the monthly report that we get, that is Suzanne's handiwork. And she chases those of us who are sometimes late with our reports and does it in a nice fashion. And she is the one who knows how to work the webinar software. Suzanne, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that introduction. That was very nice.
Yeah. I've got a feeling someone may have spilled something in the kitchen, so I'm going to shut this. We have a cat who explores. Okay, Sean Riley, what would you like to speak about, Sean? Whoops, and allowed. I get okay. No, is there anyone else who wants to speak? Okay. Well, I think then the next thing for us on the agenda, this deals with the Strawberry Hill property, the Blake property. We got a wonderful presentation from Vinnie O'Brien, attorney Vinnie O'Brien, on behalf of owners who want to develop that property in a good way. It's going to be a horse facility. They are not going to do any work on the two buildings on that property that are, oh yes, Nadir.
Well, I think Mike is in the waiting room. Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Oh, good. Let's get Mike. Hey, Vinny. Hi. Okay. Well, I think at this point I was just giving a little bit of background to everyone that the property itself is going to be developed essentially the way that the Board of Appeals approved a few years ago. However, no one proceeded with that permit, so it expired after 2 years. That's the law. So, Vinny, you've come back to us with essentially the same application. In fact, it seems to be a bit better in terms of things compared with what we had. Now, what we got to at our last meeting, we approved in concept granting the permit, but the condition was that I would prepare and have enormous input from you for parts where we want to be sure we were accurate. And I've got that available for us to look at now. And if we agree with his terms, board members, then at that point, that will become final. Now, looking back at the record for our last meeting, I did not officially close the hearing for public comment. What I say, does someone have a speaker or something on? We're kind of hearing like a double feedback. Okay. So I think at this point, since, to be fair, if someone would like to comment about this project, a member of the public, please do so. But if it's basically to reiterate what a point you made at our last meeting, there's no need to do that again. Okay, yes, Jeff, go ahead.
Um, Ann Reitmeyer was supposed to be on this, and I know she wanted to talk about some of the project. And do you show her on your screen, George?
Yes, in fact, but
Okay.
she
Well,
has, I think she may have her, and I think your microphone is turned off.
It is now, it is not.
oh, there
Okay,
we go.
now we got you.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, sure, Ann, go ahead. You raised a good point, Ann, that officially I didn't close it.
okay,
So,
all
so
right,
go ahead, go ahead.
okay. Okay, so I wanted to, and this is borderline close to what I said in the last meeting, but I'm going to say it based on more information that we've done in preparation for the public hearing. And I just want to emphasize this because we really feel very, very deeply committed to the historical importance of this building. And I know that it is not relevant to the ZBA, but I want to say it to you as members of the community. This is an extremely significant house structure, more so than the school, even though I love the school. The fact of the matter is that not only do these two properties that are now one house go back to the 1700s, they were occupied by a family that played an incredibly important role in the history of Dover, the Richards family. And not only did they serve in public office in the town of Dover in those early centuries, as Board of Selectmen, as other, public officials, but they also fought in the Revolutionary War. And I just want to, what we are wanting to stress, both to the owners and Vinny, to you as their attorney, is, based on the information we have received, we really hope that the owners and you will work with us to help find a solution that will not result in the demolition of this house. The other things that I wanted to mention, and they may be taken care of, but I went back, and I think Jeff went back and looked at the hearing meeting minutes from Alex Leventhal's, from the decision that pertained to Alex Leventhal's special permit. And the things that I wanted to ask about were, what is happening with the disposal of the poop? As a horse owner myself, I know what a challenge that is. And I own four horses and they live in my backyard. So that was one thing. And there was a response, I think, in that prior hearing and decision that the site control that was being implemented would be such that if any kind of temporary station or container that held poop before it was moved off site, it would be such that there was no possibility of leaching into the wetlands because there's a very wet area right behind the house, where the house and the old school are. That was one thing. And then the other thing that I wanted to ask and I'm bringing it up because I'm thinking more and more about this as a citizen of the town, as somebody who attended town meeting, and as somebody who also lives off of a well and has horses. When we talked about the water demand for the plan that the owners have, we talked about the fact that horses, as we who own horses know only too well, need endless supplies of water, but that's not a huge amount of money. But what is an issue in terms of impact in the area, and I just want to bring this to your attention in the hopes that it will be thought about, is these horses, I think, that are going to live on this site are not like my backyard ponies. They are show horses, they are jumpers, they don't look They're not at the end of the day covered with mud. My guys don't wear sheets, all of this stuff. And they never get washed down unless it's really a hot day. And that's not the truth for potentially 15 horses that are going to occupy this property who will be washed down probably every time that they're ridden because that's how it works. And I'm not ignorant about how other people's horse facilities are occupied, even though I'm kind of like in the woods. So those are the things that I wanted to say. And thank you very much for listening. And I hope you will hear what I've had to say.
Thank you, Ann. Vinny, do you want to address that?
In regard to the horses, Ann is correct. Under Title V, they have a certain calculation, even if people don't clean down their horses daily, that is taking up substantial number of bedroom counts. I don't know the exact number. Sean,
Yeah.
he can address that. But yes, it's anticipated that these horses, in fact, on the Title V, they anticipate all horses are use a certain amount of water, a substantial amount of water per day. So that is calculated by the Board of Health and addressed in what we need to do with them. And as I mentioned to George, we don't need any waivers. Everything we're doing on the farm is as of right. So you're correct, Ann. A substantial number of bedroom count is eaten up by the fact that there's so many horses. So that is correct. And Ann, as we talked, it's a difficult property out front. That's not part of this application. We are, it's as I said, I grew up in an 1840 Greek revival house. Everyone that's part of this project lives in older houses. It's a difficult house, but that's something we're going to be meeting with you at some point in the not too distant future to talk about. And it's hard. And the challenge always with these historical houses is the balance between the historical significance, which is substantial, and trying to make it work from the perspective of the zoning, not the zoning, the state building code. But that's not really the topic tonight. What we are trying to deal with, and keep that separate, is what we're trying to maintain this overall, what we think is a great project. We try to keep it as exactly close to what had been approved in the past. And to some degree, we believe it's better, primarily because the one structure that's going to be the manager's house is actually farther from the street, and it's actually behind the barn. And as far as the animal waste, that was directly part of the design. It's a substantial issue with all horse farms. That was addressed specifically with the Conservation Commission as part of their order.
Okay.
Oh, that's very helpful, Vinny. If there is anyone else who would like to speak on this, raise your digital hand. If not, I think we should have a motion to close the hearing for further public discussion. And board members, we then look at the draft decision I circulated and decide if anything needs to be changed. Okay, I think, may I have a motion to close the hearing for public comment?
I make a motion that we close the hearing to public comment.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor, and names, roll call, please.
Mike Donovan, aye.
Thank you.
Laverne Lovell, aye.
Nadir Ahmed, aye.
George Chimento, aye. Okay, now let's see if I can share my screen. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. So now you've all had a chance to look at this, and I know you probably just canceled all of your plans for the last 2 days to review. But essentially, yeah, this is a decision. It'll go on our letterhead, and this is a decision to relocate and reconstruct some pre-existing non-conforming structures. And what we're talking about there in English is the two cottages that are not of historical significance they'll be demolished and replaced by a single dwelling for the managers of these horses. This shows that we mailed, that we published the notice for the requisite 2 weeks prior to the hearing and the text of it. And then this is what was filed. He filed the set of plans, and these are the plans that were the old plans that were approved. And this was really helpful to see these. And then you have the proposed plans. These are the new plans, and also the landscape plans. So we have the perspective of what the board did before and what we are approving now. This says Attorney O'Brien gave a brief history of the site, that it's owned by Zeal Dover LLC. Vinny, who are the owners of Zeal Dover LLC?
Chris Olson, she's a physician, and her husband, Bob Small.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. And the first thing we're saying, the facilities are solely for their private use. This is not a commercial enterprise with people coming in and out to take riding lessons. These are horses that will be trained for the owners and for competitions. Hopefully bring back some blue ribbons to Dover. And Vinny, you explained that 6 acres in the rear will be developed, which will be the barn. 4 acres in front with the main house and the schoolhouse, which is of so much historical significance. They remain untouched for the time being.
That's great.
It's done with those, all sorts of regulation, especially with historical commission. Okay, the plan includes a 15-stall barn, septic system. There will be an indoor riding area. There'll be a 100-foot buffer zone from the wetlands with a planting plan consisting of trees and shrubs for the buffer zone. The parking area is for the maintenance people. A veterinarian, grooms, 1 for every 4 horses, trainers, with 3 bedrooms for grooms who live on site. This is a lot less than actually the property could have accommodated prior to this. You actually are cutting back the number of bedrooms significantly. You state that I'm completing the project, Vinny, and you tell me anywhere where I'm wrong.
You're doing great.
Okay, the site will include 9 bedrooms compared to the present 13. The main house will be reconfigured to reduce the number of bedrooms in that structure from 8 to 4. And cottage number 17 and 19 will be raised. A new 2-bedroom manager's house will be erected to replace the 2 older buildings, which are, those are not anything that would go on a Hallmark card. Anyone who's seen those buildings, this will be an improvement. The remaining Board of Health septic bedroom count will be used for the stalls. Okay. So instead of teenagers, we've got horses. Now, boards and commissions. Okay. This was important. Not all of this is something that we need to take into account, but it is great, I think, that we got this background on what's going on with all the other boards and commissions. Conservation Commission, they approved a plan, issued an order of conditions. It's been recorded. We know that in 2021, the planning board held a hearing to conduct a preliminary site plan and granted that approval. And then when that happened, see, the planning board does site approval also. And under the law that was in effect and still is in effect, because it wasn't changed at town meeting, the site plan review does not expire in 2 years. Actually, the amendment would have had site plan reviews expire in 2 years. So it's sort of a perpetual thing. Both Vinny and I have spoken with the planning board, and they've each confirmed that there are no substantial changes on this plan. So no further hearing is required before the planning board. So that's helpful. The project still requires Board of Health approval, and so this special permit is a prerequisite to obtaining that. And Vinny, you've spoken with Jason at our health agent.
I haven't spoken with them directly, but our engineers have met with them several times.
Okay, excellent. And he advises the proposed septic systems on the premises are as of right Title V systems. So nothing fancy. No waiver or variance is required from that's helpful to know. Again, that's a separate part of government, but it's good to know. The Historical Commission has, and here we know you've had separate hearings. You issued a letter acknowledging the importance of the main house and the schoolhouse. Vinny, you represent no current plans for use of those facilities, and you'll be meeting with the Historical Commission.
Correct.
And a separate letter also dated February 24th, and sent this. It further determined that the buildings and structures are not historically significant. Those are the cottages, and demolition permits may be issued. So there's no complaint about the work that's going to be done. Okay, public discussion. It's good to have this in a decision, but probably not really necessary. Still, I did want to show a big concern was it not be a commercial site open for lessons and riding privileges of members of the public not related to the owners of the applicant. So if they've got kids or something, their own family members, fine, but not people from even in the neighborhood, unless at some point the neighborhood all agrees it's not a big problem. I don't think we want to overregulate this, but this is just the main thing is there's no sign here, there are no advertisements that you're going to have something open to the public with a lot of traffic. Question was raised about preserving trees on the site. Vinny, the landscape plan is there. I know also Sierra Bright mentioned maybe getting some advice from the Arboretum. Is that the Boston Arboretum? I'm not quite sure which. Do you recall, Vinny?
I know she said she thought some of the plantings might have come from the Arboretum. I don't know if that's the case. I do know that we've made great efforts to maintain almost all of the significant trees. There were some dead ash, there was a dead hemlock, there's some old sort of scrub pine, but there are a number of kind of unique trees that we've identified on the plans, and we try to identify them in color so it's easy for the board to see them. And there are some stunning trees there. I'm not sure of the history of them. I pretty much grew up in the Arboretum as a kid, and I don't recall them ever sending anything away.
Yeah.
They may have. But to the extent we can, to a very substantial extent, we've been able to save the trees because none of the trees that are significant are in the middle of the property. They're all sort of around the perimeter, which we can't go near anyways. So they're pretty pleasant to the eye. They're significant to the project. They add color and vitality to the design, and we had saw no reason to remove them. As a lot of, in subdivisions, people, they come cut everything down. We did not want to do that or need to do that. In the middle of the property was already pretty wide open. So there's a line of old pine and some ash many of the ash are diseased, and I don't know if you're aware, there is an ash disease going around. So those ones are being removed in the middle of the property, but all the kind of quality trees are remaining.
Okay, that's helpful. Then our decision is going to show what we've talked about already, that there was a prior special permit, and the two main differences, the prior one had 16 stalls, this one
Yes,
has 15, and the prior application envisioned one cottage being raised, the other remaining. And due to their condition, you advise Vinny that, which is a matter of right, that your owners would raise both the cottages, and we would replace it with a more modern two-bedroom house to be constructed in their place.
correct.
Okay. So then, upon motion approved unanimously, the hearing was then concluded. Okay, uh, I think, well, since I've allowed, let me just see here. Oh, no, actually, now, yeah, we are concluding it now. We may have to revise this a little bit. Okay, why don't we just say the, uh, in fact, just a sec. See, the terms of the special permit were approved in concept, and the chairman was authorized to prepare a final decision for review and comment. Okay, then at that May 7 meeting. Or approved. Oops. The special, this special. Okay, Vinny, does that work for you?
That works for me.
Okay. Board members, okay, so that we just get the chronology set. And then our minutes for this meeting will show we've closed the hearing and done all this stuff. Now, we need to have findings. This gets a little technical. Site contains 10 acres. We got 3 dwellings. This is all on the plans. And so that's one thing. Describes the site. It's in an R2 zone. We've got 3 separate dwellings at the site, which should that be do not comply, Vinny?
Good question. I went back and forth.
Pardon?
I went back and forth. I'll defer to you.
Yeah, does it refer to the site or the
Yeah.
buildings? Okay. Uh, yeah, we'll just say which do not comply. That's fine. 3 dwellings were constructed before the adoption of the first zoning. That's, geez, what was the year of that? Well, it was with 1930 something for
The first one was 1930, but it really was just in the center of town.
yeah.
Didn't cover much of anything. And then I think it was 1933.
Okay. All 3 dwellings have been continuously occupied. And then here's the key thing that we're meeting here. Our stuff is under 185-13. We've got a site with non-conforming use of building or land, in this case of buildings, because you couldn't build these buildings with this configuration today in an R2 zone. But it's non-conforming, and what we're determining is that the new plan is not as substantially different in character or more detrimental or objectionable to the neighborhood than if there had been no plan at all. So we're essentially making the same decision that the board made a few years ago that this is consistent with the neighborhood. It's not more abusive. Now, the proposed project includes demolition of these cottages, garage, shed, pool, patio, driveway, construction of a barn with 15 stalls, living quarters on the second floor with 3 bedrooms, 2-bedroom manager house to be constructed, an indoor riding area, arena, paddocks, detached equipment garage, installation of new septic, new driveway, and stormwater system for handling animal waste. We're finding that the 3 existing dwellings contain 13 bedrooms, and we end up with 9 after this demolition. Applicant will board only their own horses at the site and only for their personal use and enjoyment. For this purpose, the permit is intended to benefit owners of the applicant because it's an LLC. LLCs don't get on horses, family members, and non-commercial guests. Height of the proposed barn is less than the 35-foot limit in our bylaw for R2, with the exception of the 3 cupolas, okay,
Cupolas.
cupolas, okay, on the plans. Under the bylaws, the cupolas are permitted to exceed the height limit because they will not be used for human occupancy. Boy, that I didn't realize that. Okay. They're going to use dark sky lighting for any outdoor lighting fixtures. All the new structures comply with the minimum setback requirements for R2 district, which makes sense. They're just basically putting it back in where it was. Proposed demolition, expansion, etc., reduces the total number of bedrooms. It's all in accordance with the plans that are being proposed, and it's not going to be more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing non-conforming use. The use of the site to keep, raise, train, and ride horses for personal use is considered farming, which is a use permitted in R2 residential district, and that's 185-10, use 5. That's the grid for anyone who doesn't know what that is. The grid is the source of all zoning knowledge in Dover. Construction of appropriate accessory facilities, other barn, riding arena, equipment garage, they're all permitted. None of this will be detrimental to the neighborhood. All of this was again, just putting all of the stuff in. I mean, hopefully there are no appeals, but you need to have this sort of detail if someone does appeal to court. Appeals do not go to us. They go to court. You've got 20 days after filing to sue to have this looked at by a court. Okay, our decision. We haven't quite voted. We're going to vote on this in a minute, but this is saying what we're going to do, presumably. We're voting to grant the special permit to demolish cottage 17 and 19, replace them, all as said before, all with these conditions that we have here, including required approvals from the Board of Health, all of that stuff. Now associate member Nancy Green, okay, since Nancy's away, we will. And Mike, you were here last time, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was.
Okay, excellent. Okay. Okay, and then this is the normal stuff. You got 20 days after this gets filed. I'll sign this and then, and let me just see here. And then, whoops, I think we ought to have a spot in here we normally would have Laverne, sign all. Laverne, are you going to be around?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
good. I'll
This,
add, so I will add in, something for you and then, uh, ideally, I think I can get all of this, although town hall's closed Friday. So, Monday,
oh,
yeah,
does Felicia doesn't work Friday morning? For
I,
some reason, I thought she did, but
I don't know. She works all the time.
I know.
At
She's
town,
about the only one you can ever find there at the
oh,
town hall.
God, I mean, can you believe at town meeting when people wanted to know how many minutes since the vote? Because
And
it's
she knew.
22 minutes and 30 seconds. No, she's
Yeah. I
fabulous.
never heard that before.
Yeah, well, that is okay. I guess
Yeah.
we'll talk about town meeting in a minute. So,
Okay.
okay, so I think here, may I have a motion to accept the decision as presented and to grant the special permit.
So moved.
Thank you, Mike. And a second.
I second that motion.
All right. Okay. Members, please vote and identify yourselves.
Laverne Lovell, yes.
Mike Donovan, aye.
Nadir Ahmed, I.
George Chimento, yes. Aye. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. And I appreciate your work and detail in getting this done so quickly and efficiently. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Well, yeah, thanks. It's again, we try to earn our pay. That's
At $2,000.
That's it.
Have a nice night, everybody. Thank you very much.
In
Good
fact,
night.
Bye.
you made it easy, Vinny. Okay, so let me see if I can stop sharing here. And okay, our next thing is okay, we've got various matters to discuss. One is and I can just speak for Nancy, she's not here, but Jason Belmonte and the Board of Health is really the guy in charge of OpenGov. And apparently all the boards who use this, from what I understand, they like it. It gives them, not only them, but it gives every other board an update on what's going on for projects. Because, like this one we just looked at, you've got every board under the sun involved. And I've not seen how it operates. And, all the other boards have got, assistants who do this for them. So Nancy volunteered to be our assistant, our leader to get us into this process. And when this is done, and then it's got to be tested out because Jason said it does take a while to work out the bugs for each board. We will eventually be able to have applications be done online by people, and then we'll have the whole record and decisions, everything online rather than having them put on as parts of our web page, which is what we do right now. So that'll be good. And the other thing, as far as regulations, I prepared something. I still haven't been able to talk with our council. She had the flu, really bad flu for a while, and then I went out of town. There's no immediate thing on this, but it would be nice for us to have regulations that really just put in print what has been a practice of the board since at least 2001 and catch us up to date with uh, the newfangled things like email, and electronic signatures, stuff like that. Yeah, because yeah, you look at what we have, you'd think everything was quill and ink. Uh, so that's something. Now, as far as fee schedule, Nancy did all that work, and I'm going to let me just see here. I'm going to share the screen again. Let me just. Okay, this is what Nancy put together for us, and I'm trying to jog my memory. I think we decided that looking at our fees, and is anyone in the public still here, Suzanne?
It looks like Jeff Sauter is still here and David Forsora.
Okay, guys, I don't know if you were here when we talked about this, but we've got an application fee that doesn't even cost to publish ads, cover the cost of publishing ads in the paper. And we don't go to the Globe, we go to the Dover Sherburne Press, which is the cheapest we could find. Um, this $150 fee has been in effect since at least 2001. Uh, so you can see, yeah. And yeah, so we looked at some other towns, and actually, from what Nancy told us, when she talked to the other towns, a lot of them were thinking, holy cow, we ought to be raising our fees too. So this is not set in stone what these towns actually charge. I think they may find themselves boosting fees as well. But I believe our consensus was we would recommend a $400 fee. I think technically that would be our decision alone, but we would want to coordinate with the selectmen just and explain to them why we're doing this, and then it would have to be in writing. Uh, I still wonder if 400 is enough, but it's better than 150. Uh, am I remembering it right? Is there anyone who thinks it should be something other than 400? Or
I thought 400 seems like a lot.
see
From
what?
150 to 400 seems like a lot.
Well, the
Sherburne is, what is Sherburne? I can't even read that. 125? No.
plus 105 for the registry,
Oh, yeah.
75. Yeah, but see that our advertising cost is quite a lot. And then what we do as well is we have Suzanne on the town payroll, and it's after hours. I don't know how Suzanne gets paid, but we've got that. We've got all the services of Felicia. Uh, so I really think that uh, and we don't charge for our time, but we do at times have to go to our town council to get
Right. Yeah, we have to pay for that.
yeah. So
George, my recollection was that we had aligned around sort of the Weston model, but we're going to do 400 on both instead of having a difference there.
yes, that's right. That we weren't going to, yeah, commercial. We were going to be 400 and
Yeah.
not differentiate. That is what
And
I.
I thought we had kind of agreed to the 40B structure that they have, but maybe I'm misremembering.
Yeah, I think you're right. And um, so and actually the 40B, yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with that at all. And it's it just what we can't have in that, we did look at it. We're not allowed to charge for our legal costs, but and what we get there is we get that fee that kind of covers publications, other things.
But it feels aligned, right, with the
Yeah,
idea that there are lots of meetings, lots of engagements, including kind of the time of the
Yeah.
administrators and support of
Yeah.
the administrators. So like I like that structure feels like it is reasonable, especially given the cost of sort of, the publication and the other efforts. So my view would be that 400, and then the 2000 plus 100 per unit feels
yes,
reasonable.
I think that's good. And See, in addition to this, though, in our regulation, there is a calculation. It's not a fee by us, but we collect more than that. This 2,000 plus 100 per unit would just go to the town. And then in addition, we would still collect our last one at Tisdale. The initial calculation was about $22,000. That money,
But that's for the experts, right?
that's right. That's for the
Yeah.
consultants. And then we return anything
Yeah.
that we don't spend, and we keep them, we keep the developer up to date on the status of that. Okay, well, listen, I think, Nadir, you were remembering exactly what we voted on. And the reason I wanted to be sure is I've next got draft minutes. And do you have the stomach to look at those draft minutes I just circulated, and then we can.
I just read those today. I think you did those earlier. But so does the Board of Selectmen have to okay these new
You know,
numbers?
I don't actually think they have to, but we would just, and I told Mike, our
Oh, yeah, Mike Blanchard.
Mike
Yeah,
Patrick,
yeah.
yeah, that we would let, and
That,
Mike's, in fact, when I spoke with the selectmen, just giving them a yearly report, I told them this is something we would look at, and the response basically was, check with the other towns, we don't want to be outliers.
yeah, too crazy. Yeah.
So I think, my goodness, Weston is fine as a comparable. Uh, so okay, so we can fill this actually in, because we actually did vote these. Now let me see if I can get our minutes in front of us, and these are, again, I was running out of steam. Uh, but here we are. Okay, this is the last meeting. Now we had everyone was present, correct? And
Mhm.
then we had Ann did some initial comments, and then we told her we could hear more after the hearing opened. And so at 7:10 on time, we opened the hearing on the application. I read to everyone the terms of the ad. And then I put in a note here, what is it we're trying to decide? Let people know what is 18513. And this just basically is one non-conforming use replacing another non-conforming use, and basically not being more detrimental. And that's the decision both boards of appeal have made. We introduced Vinny, gave a detailed summary of the project, uh, build a large barn facility, show horses, caretakers. He noted the permit, the similar permit, and he showed the difference. See, this is all in our decision, but
Mhm.
we'll stick it in the minutes also. Uh, then make clear to everyone, minutes are not meant to be transcripts. And so what every person said, we just don't quote that verbatim. Uh, we've got Ann's, remarks that are important, that no work on the main house or the schoolhouse without subject to commission review, and Vinny agreed. And the other comments, the public comments, no one really provided grounds to object to the project. Most favored it strongly. Constructive public comments to the applicant's attorney included: save the trees when possible, even if not required, and enlist consulting assistance of the Arboretum. Uh, I'm pretty sure that is what Sierra said, but why don't we just say enlist consulting assistance? Okay. Be certain there's no advertising of a commercial business and no commercial traffic. And do not run this as an active commercial business with lots of traffic. I mean, those were the comments at that meeting, I think. Then deliberation, we determined to approve the special permit as requested in concept, but a final written decision was necessary for formal approval. A motion made and seconded. Board members with associate members concurring unanimously voted to authorize me to prepare the draft, circulate it, and finalize at our next meeting, which was on May 7th. Then we then did not even catch our breath. We started out on short-term rental application, 23 Church Street. We opened that hearing. Same stuff, I've got to say it was properly advertised and what was being requested. And the applicants explained that Gregory was temporarily, I think 2 years, relocating to New York for business reasons. They didn't want to enter into a long-term lease because they have family nearby, ties to the Dover community, and they hope to have their home available for visits. So that's a good reason to do this. We discussed with them a number of conditions which would accommodate the need and also be respectful of neighbors. The citizen comments, a number commented. I have not gone into their names of each person. I think many spoke highly of the applicants, supported the request. Some had serious reservations and urged the board not to grant the special permit. Their concerns were understandable due to the nature of short-term tenancies, with ins and outs of strangers to the neighborhood. None of the objectors, however, provided any reasons which would provide the board a legal basis to deny the application. I mean, basically, this is allowed by the bylaws. If citizens don't want it, 2/3 of them can say, get rid of short-term rentals. Then board deliberation, number of criteria. These are all the conditions that we put into the verbatim that appear in the actual special permit. I just basically copied that, slapped it right in here. If you want to look at them again, we can, but the main thing is only for them. If they sell the house, this doesn't go with the house. 2 years, that's it. And that's as long as a special permit can last. They've got to use Airbnb or someone satisfactory to us. So it's not a word of mouth process. They got to have a professional outfit that vets these people out. Cars got to be parked on the property, no on-street parking, no pets, no smoking indoors, no drugs except for physician drugs, and that means no marijuana, even if legal. No loud music, other noise, tenant parties forbidden, renting on a short-term basis for more than 180 days in any 12-month period is prohibited without special permission from us. So that keeps it, in the nature of part-time. I'd be surprised if they're using Airbnb. I'd surprised if they even did 180 days. The board, we can modify this for any violations, even if or cancel, even if minor. So that's important. So on motion made and seconded, we approved it and we authorized Chimeno to finalize and file the document. That was done, and Laverne put her Jill Hancock on it. so that's all. And in fact, the 20-day appeal period has gone by, no appeals. I just got that from Felicia. Okay, we also briefly discussed draft minutes that had been submitted earlier for the November 5th meeting. We approved those as presented. Then, okay, this is the part I was a little bit foggy on. We reviewed the fee schedule exhibit prepared by Nancy. Our application fee for permits and variances is 150. That must be raised. Okay. And then I think what we'll do, we'll just go,
You're getting really good with the computer.
oh, if anyone had told me, when I was in law school, I thought I'd be playing golf with millionaires. Hell, I've turned into a secretary.
You're riding horses with millionaires.
Let me see, residential fees. Was it Wayland or whose fees did we look at?
Weston.
Weston, okay.
Yeah, I looked at Weston.
Okay. And let's see, what was the unit fee? Do you remember?
$100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this might be this process. Okay, so let me just see here. Like, how do I get that?
George, I have a question.
Yeah.
It says $100 dollars per unit. How do you define a unit? What is it?
Yeah. It's not per bedroom. So I would think you would be looking at the deed. Who is, do you have one owner for a deed, a deeded property, or is it an apartment? An apartment. There's no differentiation between rental and ownership.
Right. How about just per single family residence?
Okay. You know what? Per, per,
Well,
in fact, guess what? If we put that in, the Attorney General will be after us. That was actually a problem with the multi, what was it? The 80U article at town meeting. The attorney for the state wouldn't approve last year's vote because that it said single family. So it all had to be changed. You had to get family out and make it single residence. But that I got exactly what you want. It makes sense, Mike. Let me just figure out how the hell to get this there. Okay. Okay. Okay, so what did you want? What was you say per per residence? Is that
Well, I said per single family residence. You thought that was a politically unacceptable term.
yeah,
So I'm just trying to shortcut if you have a application where the builder may define a unit as one building rather than
yeah,
a collection of 15 apartments.
gotcha. Yeah. Okay, let me just see here. Hang on just a minute. Okay. Am I still sharing my screen?
yes. Well,
Oh,
just the chart. We just have the Nancy's chart up there.
oh,
So a unit, like the apartment complex near you, Mike, up there is 35 units. I mean, some are two bedrooms, some are three bedrooms, some are one, but they're all 35 units. I guess that's how I would interpret that. I don't know.
well, you know what we should, and I want to be sure this isn't mixing with the fee we collect to cover consultants. Uh, because yeah, if this were, yeah, we probably, let me just stop sharing here. Uh,
Hmm.
oops. Oh, maybe I should keep sharing.
You lost yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Now, because these are just minutes. We don't need this. This is not going to be for,
Doesn't have to be that technical, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah. Boy, George, when I was doing the minutes back in the 90s, they said just put down what you talked about. You say, well, we talked about units and we talked about, and that was it. No, it was nothing in there like they do now, especially since Alan was there. Wow.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
there's
he wanted,
very meticulous minutes.
well, he wanted a transcript,
Yeah.
which, but
Well,
yeah,
you've written a transcript here. My God.
well,
This-
gosh, no, I don't have people's names and going on and, no. But this is all, we did a lot of stuff at this meeting. Uh, well, why don't we say without further examination. So it's a, there we go. We just, this gets us in motion. Okay. And, Then the board also reviewed on a preliminary basis draft regs. Okay, so that's what we did that. And okay, at that meeting, we then unanimous with voted. So that's what we did, and I can approve that. If you may, I have a motion to approve this, giving me the ability to catch any typos or other things that are in here, but I won't change the substance. May I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor and sound off?
Laverne Lovell, yes.
Mike Donovan, aye.
Nadir Ahmed, aye.
And George Chimento, aye. Okay, so that covers all of the stuff. The only thing we need to do now at 8:11 p.m. is vote to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, second.
Second.
Third, okay, okay. Sound off again, your names.
Laverne Lovell, good night. Yes, whatever.
Mike Donovan.
Yep, and George Chimento.
Nadir Ahmed, aye.
Hey, that's great. Do you want to just compare notes about town meeting at all, or is it's
Yeah,
up.
I thought it was extremely interesting. Boy, it's a lot of opinions for a lot of people. And I
Yeah,
don't know if we accomplished a lot of stuff, especially
yeah,
moving the gas tank. That went on for so long. I didn't know what they were talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's yeah. Actually, hey, that yeah, yeah. I've got mixed,
Speechless.
well, I've got mixed thoughts uh, on that, but uh,
I just found it was confusing at times. What
yeah,
exactly were you're voting on? It
right.
wasn't really clear. It got kind of muddled, and I think I made a couple votes that once I realized what they were trying to approve or trying to disapprove, I voted the opposite way I would have normally, and
I did that same thing. I did that
yeah,
same thing. Yeah.
yeah,
It was,
It would have helped if the actual text had been on the screen, so that instead of telling people what it says, actually let people read what it says. And I know that because there are some towns probably where people don't want to read the fine print, but the architect who spoke, he said, "Look, I want to see exactly what it says," and that would have helped if that had been on the screen. I think it would have helped. I know the planning board worked awfully hard on this, and so uh, and I don't. I think it really was something. I mean, we didn't get involved in it. I mean, as a board, we really weren't asked.
yeah. Thank God.
Yeah, and I think it will help in future maybe if there's more coordination on these things. But boy, they worked hard, and I know they were disappointed. Uh, but hey, that's town meeting. You never know, what's going to happen.
You
Uh,
never know. That's true. But you never know what they're going to say, who's going to show up, who's going to get mad. It was very interesting. I've been going to them now for 57 years, so I've seen quite a few.
well, Jim Rapetti does a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and of course, Fred, the architect, lives across the street from him, right here on Old Meadow Road. Yeah,
Uh,
I thought Fred Gernard was gonna have a fit there for a few years, but and I agreed with him. You go
yeah,
down to town hall and look for information, and
yeah,
there's no information.
yeah.
They're not helpful. They're not there. The building inspector comes in they're like 3 hours a week. It's a difficult town to do business
Well,
in. Very difficult.
Hey
well,
guys, I'm so sorry. I have to drop.
you
Oh,
should.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
we'll
Have a
miss
great
you,
night, guys.
Ahmed.
Thanks so
I
Bye.
much.
Good
got you.
night.
And I think, hey, listen, I think the thing is, people worked hard, and there's always another meeting. So that's uh, this has been a great meeting. Gosh, we got finished in just an hour and 15 minutes. That's not bad.
Very
Okay.
good. Thank you, George. Thank you
Hey,
for all you do.
oh yeah. Okay. Okay,
Okay.
but Monday you go sign stuff. Okay. Mike,
Take
thanks a
care.
lot. Okay.
Good night.
Good night.